All right, getting the Primal charged up. So I've got charger cord plugged into the pack that's on it. Was charging up the controller, but one of the batteries popped. So just went ahead and put regular batteries in it, 6 volt. Want to see if everything's working. Throttle's working. Brakes working. We're going to let it charge up for a little while, and we're going to go into the garage and see if it'll fire up. Pump some fuel into it and see if we can get it fired up. But that's what I'm doing. The Primal is sold, so I'm getting it ready so that I can deliver it today. Guys coming out of Huntington Beach to pick this up. We're going to meet over at Handsome Dam and get this thing delivered to him so that he can use it at an event this weekend. So I'm going to just make sure that everything works, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned. All right, we are in the garage. Going to try to fire this thing up. Gas is a little old to this thing. Let me get some cutters. What I mean by gas is a little old, I mean the gas in this can. This thing could really use some fuel line. Yep, just want to make sure that the pump works. Don't want to put too much in it. There we go. Got it primed. Let's get the radio on. Get the RC on. And let's see. This one does not have a choke. No. Think that's the parachute. let me pop out the spark plug, see if we're getting fuel. Yeah, it definitely has fuel on there. And we got spark. Huh. Get the air cleaner off. I don't think I can get my finger in there. Alright, let me get this body off. a little hard to prime these things when they've been sitting so long. But I'm gonna go ahead and wash out these filters. They both breathe good, they're both clean, but I'm gonna wash them out anyway. And get that stuff put on. We'll get the radio clicked off. So still works after years and years and years of sitting. So meet up with this guy and get him his new Primal. But there we go. Hopefully he is used to running gas-powered RCs, because as you see, sometimes it's a struggle. Just check a few things, especially when they've been sitting. Getting them fired up, getting them primed, especially one with no choke, which Primal is, I consider, you know, like the 5T has a choke. My one down here, the K&N version, I put the 32cc, that's got a choke on it. They're a lot easier to fire up than something like these Primal Dragsters. So these things take a little bit more to get fired up when they've been sitting, and you really have to know what you're doing when it comes to this type of RC. They look great and anyone can learn over time. It's just you know, definitely mechanical skills have to come into play with an RC like this. But this thing's just amazing. Let me kick the receiver back on so you guys can see the front wheels working. Kick the power on. Just a little power switch right there. All the servos are working. And I do like these controllers, these Primal RC controllers. They work really good. So a little slide switch, and then the charge port is right next to it, so that'll go with it as well. And then we're going to go ahead and let's suck this fuel out of here while you guys are here, because I don't like leaving fuel in RC cars, in any RC car. Sometimes this seal, not the greatest. That's probably why it was hard to get primed. There we go. And that's it. Fires up, works, and I wish him all the best. So I'm gonna get the air cleaners put back on, get this thing loaded up, and then we'll meet him late tonight. It's gonna be an 8 o'clock meetup at Handsome Dam. So I'm gonna get this video footage edited. We did sell the Summit, so the Summit is dropped off. The guy's very happy. I met him at High Desert Hobby today, and both those RCs are now gone. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Stay tuned. Definitely gonna miss the Primal. Cool RC car. All right, so I want to do a little talking about the struggle of firing up a two-stroke without a choke. So what I ended up doing was pulling the spark plug and putting a couple drops of fuel in there, putting it back together, and then closing the throttle bay completely to try to get some suction from the piston to suck it through the fuel line. and it fired up and then shut off because I had the throttle open too high. So I then turned off the remote, turned the throttle closed. I had the air cleaner off, made sure the flap is closed, took off the spark plug again, put a couple more drops of premix in there, VP, because that's what I run. Because this gas is old, but I couldn't get enough suction because it's been sitting too long. You can either blow through the fuel line and through the carb, or you can pull the spark plug and put a couple drops in it. And then put the spark plug back in and fired it up, and then it finally stayed running. It finally primed the fuel through the carburetor. And it could be a little bit of dirt in there, could be anything. When you don't have a choke, it's hard to get motors like this primed up. But that's the difference between a motor with a choke and a motor without a choke. And this one does not have a choke, because this is Primal's race setup, I guess. They just don't have them with chokes, where the low C5T and the one I put in, the K&N one here, these have chokes, and all I have to do is just close the flap, make sure no air is getting in there, and when I pull the string, it'll actually suck the fuel through the carburetor to get it all primed through it. It's just the struggles, and it's just knowing, pulling out the spark plug, seeing how wet it is, checking your spark, make sure you're getting sparks, stuff like that. So to a person that's new at doing two-stroke stuff, it's very difficult for them to get stuff like this fired up. Usually frustrates them, and then they end up getting rid of it, or they just say it's too much trouble. But being a mechanic, or knowing, if you ever dealt with a lawnmower or a leaf blower or any of that, it's the same concept. So just don't get frustrated if you've never operated gas-powered equipment before, especially two-stroke stuff. You know, I never suggest an RC like this. People love them because they're huge, they're big, they're eye catchers, but you know, you might want to start off small, something with a choke, something like this, or like the low C5T, that's another good one. It has a choke, ready to run, throw a pipe on it, call it a day. Stuff with like the Raminator and motors like this, you know, you really have to know a little bit about mechanics, so to operate and run stuff like this. Something I just wanted to put at the end of the video because I kept cutting the camera to pull the plug to put some fuel in there to try to figure it out. It's hard when camera's rolling and the camera's shaking and you got everything else going on to show this kind of stuff. But you know, I always fire up before I go out. And when you run stuff like this, you got to bring a lot of equipment with you, a lot of tools. You might have to take off the body, you might have to open up the case, you know, you might have to get to the pull start because you break that. You might have to take off the carburetor and clean it. You might have to clean the air cleaner. You know, there's just a number of things when it comes to running a two-stroke, especially a drag car like this. You'll see these guys with whole stations out there. Just to do an event. So something I wanted to throw at the end of the video. Hopefully the new owner is watching, and he sounds like he's been around the automotive scene a little bit, and hopefully he doesn't struggle with this RC, and he just enjoys it and has fun. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. Got to get these other drag cars out, ready, cleaned up, and ready to go. But just wanted to throw this at the end of the video, and hopefully everybody watched it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.